Hello, good evening. This is UTV Live.
Tonight at 6, unfit to stand trial. Lady Donaldson won't stand trial on medical grounds in the sex offences case alongside her husband, Sir Geoffrey Donaldson.
Also ahead, hospices urge the Health Minister to protect the sector after crucial meeting.
The reality is our patients are the most important thing to us, so we will do everything and anything to protect services, but that's only if we can afford to do so.
Policing on a cliff edge. The dire warning on officer numbers issued by the Police Federation.
Plus the rest of the day's news, including an unexpected seaside welcome for the King as a seagull leaves its mark on his jacket during his royal visit.
Tomorrow looks like a rather cloudy day, but we have plenty of sunshine on the way as we head towards the weekend. I'll have all of the details later with the forecast.
Lady Donaldson has been declared not fit to stand trial in the historical sex offences case. The judge made the ruling at Newry Crown Court, and instead she is now set to face a trial of facts.
She previously denied charges of aiding and abetting. A further hearing will be held tomorrow on whether or not that will run alongside the trial of the former DUP leader, Sir Geoffrey Donaldson, who's facing 18 charges, including one of rape. Both deny all charges. Stuart Robson reports.
In March 2024, Sir Geoffrey and Eleanor Donaldson were arrested and charged, all relating to alleged historical sexual offences which they deny. This is a case that has been halted twice already, concerns around Lady Donaldson's mental health delaying the start of a trial. Now, a ruling from the case's judge that alters the course of proceedings. Neither Eleanor Donaldson or her husband were required to attend this latest hearing, in which medical evidence was provided to the court by a psychiatrist. After retiring to consider the evidence heard as well as other medical reports, Judge Paul Ramsey ruled that Eleanor Donaldson was unfit to stand trial. Although Eleanor Donaldson will not face a jury, she will now face a trial of the facts. That means a jury cannot find her guilty. Instead, it will assess the facts of the case and whether Lady Donaldson committed or did not commit the alleged offences. These details are set out in the Mental Health Northern Ireland Order 1986. Before closing proceedings, the judge said that a further ruling was to be made on how the trial of facts will run, either alongside the trial of Sir Geoffrey Donaldson or at another time. That decision will be delivered on Thursday. The court also heard that the plan still is for jury selection to begin next Tuesday. Stuart Robson, UTV Live, Newry Crown Court.
Policing is on a cliff edge when it comes to officer numbers. That's the dire warning issued by the Police Federation today at their annual conference. The
PSNI has repeatedly said it requires 8,000 officers to fully carry out its roles, but there are concerns a target of 7,000 by 2028 will be missed. Here's Jordan Moore.
We all treasure the peace that is built here in Northern Ireland. They detest it. They want to disrupt it.
Police flat out 24/7 in recent months, with numbers and resources stretched. A recovery plan hoping to tackle that once and for all. But a fresh warning, that plan, which includes boosting numbers to 7,000 by 2028, is in danger of being derailed. Excluding student officers, the service currently stands at around 6,000.
Policing continues to be poised on a precarious cliff edge. Financial crisis follows financial crisis.
Rank and file at the annual Police Federation conference heard claims the plan had effectively evaporated.
The reality is PSNI will probably be only able to bring in between 500 and 600 people this year. But while that happens, another 300 or 350 will be leaving the organisation. So as we stand here next year, I expect that number will be 6,600 at best. Which again is still behind. Because we've went behind on year one, it's going to be very difficult to catch up, which is why I've said the panacea would have been that by April 2028 we would have 7,000, and I don't think that's going to happen now.
Although the Justice Minister was keen to stress, progress is being made, if however slow.
I'm therefore pleased to see the initial impacts of year one of the recovery plan, with officer numbers standing at 6,315 as of the start of this month, up from a historic low of 6,190 towards the end of 2025. There remains, however, a great deal of work ahead to achieve full recovery of police numbers, but we are at least finally moving in the right direction.
Both agree on one thing: bringing back 50-50, not the way to boost Catholic recruitment. Chief Constable also here, but spoke behind closed doors to officers about internal problems, including damning reports, raising deep concerns about misogyny.
That's something that's work in progress with PSNI, and we're very supportive of PSNI and what they're doing to try and sort of narrow those opportunities down for people to be able to come into this organisation and basically disgrace the profession.
There was a lot on the agenda at this year's Police Federation conference here in Belfast, but funding and officer numbers remains a key problem. Jordan Moore, UTV Live, Belfast.
Northern Ireland's secondary care doctors are planning 2 days of strikes next month if they secure a yes vote in its ballot over pay. The BMA said if industrial action goes ahead, it will see reduced cover from consultants and specialists from June the 25th to June the 26th, and a full 24 walkout of resident doctors from 7 a.m. on Monday, June the 29th.
We are the worst off in terms of remuneration, but that is leading to our services being completely depleted of staff. We have the worst healthy life expectancy. We have the worst waiting lists, and those things can't be unlinked. If we don't have the staff and they continue to leave Northern Ireland because of these awful pay and conditions that we face, those waiting lists and things are going to continue getting worse. We are at a stage now where, without action to try and fix the problem and try and attract doctors into our system, we won't have a system at all.
The police believe that an early morning arson attack in Coleraine today could have been caused by a petrol bomb being thrown through a window. No one was injured, despite a man being inside the house on Maple Drive in the town. Police say they are working to determine a motive and exactly who was involved.
Belfast Magistrates Court has heard that nearly £300,000 worth of pure cocaine seized in North Belfast was transported across the border under an arrangement made with a Dublin-based crime gang. The drugs were discovered after police detained 2 men at separate locations during an operation on Monday. 24-year-old Adnan Youssef of Coldhurst Crescent in Dublin and Pierce Elwood, who is 23 and from Park End Street in Belfast, both face charges connected to the seizure.
The Ballymena-based bus manufacturer Wrightbus has secured an order worth £7 million for new double-deckers for Hong Kong. It's the first global order of its type for the vehicle, and they will be built in its factory in Malaysia. The deal will see the buses delivered in 2027.
TransLink customers should prepare for a reduction in services and the removal of discounted fares. The company's chief executive told the Infrastructure Committee earlier today that losses and a lack of funding mean efficiencies need to be made to maintain the network. Chris Conway said he hopes that the measures will generate savings with minimal impact on customers, but he told members that the longer term is the real priority.
TransLink is the operator of the public transport network. DFI is the transport authority and the owner of the network. So wider network changes will be required to address the funding shortfall. And in the future shape and size of the network will need further consultation.
A planned fuel duty increase is to be scrapped. The Prime Minister announced the 5p per litre cut will be extended until the end of the year. It came amidst a larger than expected drop in inflation, also revealed today. However, we're being warned that prices are still set to rise because of the ongoing impact of the Iran war. Well, Sinead Campbell from Advice NI is with me. Sinead, some good news today, but what difference, if any, will householders be feeling in their pockets?
I think the news is very welcome, and any mitigation for the households in Northern Ireland is positive news. However, for people on the ground, it is still very difficult. We have went through one crisis after the other since COVID, and people are no longer able to cope. It is a relief that the fuel duty has been frozen, but you have the cost of living crisis, you have extreme debt for people, you have poverty, and it's really, really difficult for people.
What are those pinch points? Is it the fuel bill at home?
It's everything. It's your groceries, it's your fuel, it's insurances, it's your cost of your changing mortgages, rent. Everything's combining to create, with stagnant wages, it's just, people don't have any extra to give.
You're also reporting another pressure on households today. Rates bill debt is on the increase. Tell me about that.
Well, we on the Service of the Debt Advice have dealt with well over $1 million last year, which is the highest we've ever dealt with, an increase of 51%. So that is really tight because people have to pay that on top of their ongoing liability.
And I imagine these are people who are working as well. They own their own home.
The vast majority would be working, but people are working and getting supported with benefits at the same time. And people are struggling with their mental health as well. It has a ripple effect through the family, through their community. They can't engage, they're isolated, and it's stressful. It's a very stressful situation.
Well, I imagine that's where you step into the space. What practical advice does Advice NI are you able to give?
Well, what I would say to people is come early because you have more options available. A lot of people leave it too long. We have people coming 2 years down the line when they're robbing Peter to pay Paul, taking out extra credit. But people are now facing the fact that they don't have any disposable income. What our service at Advice NI and our members will do is we'll look at the situation, we'll go through your budget, your income, we'll try and maximise it, and we'll look where you can reduce your spend. And then we'll give you options. We will support you the full way through the journey, and we'll take away your stress and make sure you're back in control.
Well, Sinead Campbell from Advice NI, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
The Hospice Alliance says that it's expecting to hear from the Health Minister by Friday to see if he's willing to give additional support to the sector which provides end-of-life care.
Representatives from hospices across Northern Ireland met with Mike Nesbitt today and expressed fears that a funding model which depends on charitable fundraising is no longer sustainable. Our North West correspondent Garth Wilkinson reports.
For over 40 years, it's been a place of comfort and care. The Foyle Hospice is an institution in Derry.
Where's this door? So this is one of our 9 beds.
End-of-life and palliative care here costs millions of pounds each year. Finding the funding is an ever-increasing struggle.
But it's getting more difficult to fund all. It's becoming much more difficult. All your facilities? Across all our services, yes, because the costs are continuing to increase.
Over 60% of running costs at the Foyle Hospice are covered by fundraising. It's a similar picture for the sector right across Northern Ireland.
Are you saying that the funding model as is now is simply not sustainable? It's not sustainable. We're at a point where we just can't continue to rely on the goodwill and generosity of the local community. The local community have always been supportive, but at the same time, this is something that should be publicly funded.
Stormont's Health Committee recently reviewed palliative care. Its 27 recommendations were accepted by the Department of Health, but funding has not been provided to deliver them. Today, representatives from the hospice sector met with the Health Minister to express their concerns. Mike Nesbitt promised to return with a response on Friday.
I'm hoping that the Minister does the right thing in line with the recommendations, which is to ensure that we are properly, appropriately and sustainably funded, because without that he is risking the services that we provide. The reality is our patients are the most important thing to us, so we will do everything and anything to protect services, but that's only if we can afford to do so, and at the minute that is a struggle.
We don't seem to need charitable donations for other types of acute services, such as maternity, such as elective surgery. We want something that we don't have to continue to go cap in hand.
It will be an anxious 48 hours for the Foyle Hospice and others as they wait to hear what the Health Minister feels can be done. But without increased help, the sector fears it's hurtling towards a critical point. Garth Wilkinson, UTV Live, Derry.
Well, in a statement, the Department of Health said the Minister values the key role played by the hospice sector and the importance of high-quality, accessible palliative care. It also added that the Minister and the Department look forward to working with the sector off the back of the committee's recommendations.
Well, still to come on the programme, an unwelcome County Down memento for the King. while the Queen pulled a pint in Royal Hillsborough.
We get the first look at Carlew eggs rescued from a Fermanagh gorse fire.
And it's a rather cloudy day tomorrow, but we have plenty of bright and sunny spells on the way for the weekend with temperatures on the rise. I'll have all of the details coming up shortly.
But first, let's take a look at the headlines making tonight's ITV News at 6:30.
Here's Mary Nightingale.
Coming up on the programme, the Prime Minister postpones an increase in fuel duty as the government changes its sanctions on Russian oil. The latest on Spygate. Southampton appeal their ban from the Championship playoff over a spying scandal. And the Jurassic mystery is solved, why the T-Rex had such tiny arms. Well, do join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
It was a memorable morning for the King, King Charles, after a rogue seagull left its mark on his jacket during a seaside walkabout in Newcastle, with him remarking that he was just glad it hadn't landed on his head.
Well, meanwhile, Queen Camilla toured local businesses in Royal Hillsborough, pulling a pint in a local pub. Well, our reporter Rory O'Regan joins us now from Royal Hillsborough. A busy day for the royal couple, Rory, and there was a garden party this afternoon as well.
Yes, it truly was a memorable day. This was the second day of Their Majesty's visit to Northern Ireland. The King was in Newcastle while the Queen was here in Royal Hillsborough. Here's a roundup of the day's events. A less than welcome greeting from a seagull as the King visited Newcastle, County Down leaving its mark on His Majesty's jacket. But he took it well.
This is Vera, she's got special tickets for you.
The King spent the first part of the morning at a community cinema in the town. It's been operating for nearly 20 years. His Majesty met with film enthusiasts, popcorn included. The sun shone as the King made his way to his next stop.
And lots of delicious pasties.
This food bank provides free food parcels and hot meals to those in need. Newcastle's community spirit on full display. Meanwhile, the Queen was in Royal Hillsborough, where she was learning the skills of the pub trade.
I have to say she was a really good sport. She jumped at the opportunity and she did a very, very good job. And I have to say it was a very presentable pint at the end of it, and certainly usable if we were after 11:30 for licensing hours. It would have been a usable pint for us, but unfortunately we were pre-11:30, so it wasn't.
A very gorgeous bridal wear in Hillsborough.
While in the pub, she met with local entrepreneurs where some of their work was on display.
Some flowers for you. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, how lovely.
She was then presented with flowers at a nearby florist's and greengrocers.
Because it's lovely to meet her, you know, and it's lovely for her to walk about. Because she said like she's always drove and never got in, but it was nice for her to meet. It's the first time, 40 years. Yeah. I've been here 40 years, so.
Outside, the choir from a local special school performed.
Hello.
Crowds lined the street as she walked to her next stop.
Happy 9th birthday.
Lifelong memories were made, particularly for one young girl on her birthday. And her final stop, a cafe.
I have a son who's an Anglican priest, and he does a lot of volunteering for the Windsor leadership. And he was in Windsor Castle last week, which was very nice. So I love the royal family.
Afterwards, Their Majesties came together to attend a garden party at Hillsborough Castle, their residence here in Northern Ireland. Well, that garden party is now finished up and Their Majesties' engagements are over. As you saw in my piece, spirits were high all day. Even the King, when he had that mishap, kept a smile on his face and he wouldn't let that stop him from enjoying all those to celebrate today. Equally with the Queen, I was in her company throughout the morning and it was just so clear how comfortable she made people, constantly asking questions and seeing how things were. After she had poured that pint, she even made the joke that she hoped that somebody would drink it and that it wouldn't go to waste. And speaking to those local entrepreneurs afterwards, she commented how she felt she was surrounded by so much talent in the room. A great day, and the royal tour continues tomorrow.
Rory, thank you very much. And you can see all the colour of the King and Queen's visit so far on our website. Just search UTV News, and by the way, you can find it more on ITVX.
Turning to sport and football, Northern Ireland fullback Trey Hume is being linked with a possible move to Real Madrid. According to Spanish outlets, Sunderland defender Hume is on the Spanish Giants' radar following the departure of club legend Dani Carvajal. A fee of 19 million has been mooted for Hume, who moved to Sunderland from Linfield in January 2022.
Well, tonight we can reveal that 4 curlew eggs, which were rescued from a significant wildfire in County Fermanagh at the end of April, are expected to hatch any day now. Curlews are endangered wading birds, with only 150 breeding pairs left here in Northern Ireland.
Well, the eggs were taken away thanks to the help of the Fire and Rescue Service and were cared for in a special incubator to give them the best chance of survival. Sarah O'Kane went along to find out more.
We've been given the first look of these curlew eggs rescued from a major gorse fire in Brookborough in County Fermanagh last month.
The eggs have been kept in artificial incubation for the last 2 or 3 weeks. They're kept at a temperature and humidity within that incubation, and hopefully now over the next couple of days they're going to start hatching out, so they've been progressing well. But yeah, hopefully we'll see some hatching in the next day or two. Once they're hatched, that's the sort of the most stressing part of it over, and then once they begin to rear and grow, they're fairly self-sufficient.
Over 80 firefighters battled the blaze that was started deliberately. Deadly for wildlife, just look how close the flames were to the nest. Thankfully, the team, along with the Fire and Rescue Service, were able to save the eggs.
We put them in as if they were back in the nest, facing each other, and hopefully when one hatches, it'll stimulate the others to start hatching as well.
Curlews are very endangered. There's only about 150 pairs in Northern Ireland, so they're one of the highest conservation concerns in Northern Ireland, and it is vital that we do everything we can to protect them so that they're here for future generations. Only by luck we had found that nest and fenced it the day before, so I was able to head straight for the fence. And yeah, once we got there, I mean, the fire was a metre from the nest. So it was the fire service lads were, beating out the fire directly in front of it, and then the eggs were collected in a biscuit tin, wrapped up nice and tight, and brought across then for incubation.
For us, it was a really harrowing experience. We had to watch as the mother curlew sat until the fire got within about 1.5 to 2 foot of the nest, and then she flew off. Thankfully, she was okay, obviously, and did abandon the nest eventually. But it was really harrowing to watch, really difficult to watch them calling and flying over it. Every nest very, very much matters, and every chick matters. It'll be great to see them hatched and return to Slieve Bay, where they can hopefully link up with their native population. And I'm very excited to see how they survive and how they fare on.
You can see this egg has started to internally pip, so that's the first stage of hatching. So
all eyes will be on the eggs as they are expected to hatch over the next couple of days. How exciting. Sarah O'Kane, UTV Live, Fermanagh.
Weather time and a change is on the way.
Well, Louise is with us in the studio. I trust it's a change for the better, Louise.
Yes, we have some warmer temperatures on the way this weekend. We've had quite a cool, disappointing May, plenty of rain. We've had some hail, we've had a touch of frost, but as I said, into the weekend, temperatures will slowly start to rise, and it's all due to the jet stream. It's starting to move to a more northerly latitude, and with that, we're starting to draw in warmer air. You can see those shades of yellow and darker orange flooding in on the chart there as that warmer air moves in towards the bank holiday weekend. Now, the warmest temperature recorded so far this year, 21.8 degrees Celsius, just recorded last month. There's a possibility we could potentially top that over the weekend as those temperatures continue to rise. So plenty of sunshine on the way.
And sunshine, the bees love the sunshine.
They do indeed. And today is also World Bee Day, a date in the calendar reminding us all of the importance of bees and the role they play as pollinators, helping with food cultivation and biodiversity. Here's the forecast.
After a wet start, weather predictions are looking bright. UTV Weather, sponsored by the Grant Vortex Boiler.
So it looks like a rather cloudy day to come tomorrow with a few spots of rain here and there, but it's an improving picture as we head towards the weekend. Feeling warmer, temperatures on the rise with some bright and sunny spells, but a few showers always possible. There is a chance of a few thunderstorms developing Friday night into Saturday, something to keep an eye on. But ahead of that, low pressure sends a weather front our way tonight. A warm front will bring some showery outbreaks of rain overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. One or two heavier bursts with that, but it will settle down as we head towards Friday with plenty of dry weather on the way as well. Clouding over very quickly tonight. We have extensive hill fog developing. We have showery outbreaks of rain slowly starting to push northeastwards. One or two heavier downpours with that. It's quite a murky night underneath the cloud cover though. Temperatures will hold up, staying on the mild side. Lows of around 11 to 13 degrees Celsius. So a damp and miserable start tomorrow morning, quite a murky start. That hill fog slow to lift and clear. Further outbreaks of light patchy rain, but it will remain fairly cloudy through into the afternoon. A few glimmers of sunshine here and there, the odd scattered shower with a southerly breeze and highs of around 19 degrees Celsius. Across the rest of Ireland, it's a dry start, but clouding over very quickly as a frontal system pushes west to east. Some showery outbreaks of rain there, one or two heavier downpours. Breezy along coastal areas with highs of around 17 to 19 degrees Celsius. Into the weekend, we have plenty of fine, dry and settled weather, plenty of sunshine to enjoy and temperatures on the rise there, highs around 20 or 21 degrees Celsius, and temperatures by night will stay on the mild side. That's the latest. The pollen forecast is coming up next.
UTV weather, sponsored by the Grant Vortex Boiler.
Making the most of summer. Perry sponsors UTV pollen count.
And we're starting to see some early grass pollen, but at the minute levels will remain low as we head into the weekend. That's the very latest. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye for now.
And that's an encouraging weather forecast. Now, with the time at almost 6:30, that's the latest news, sport and weather this Wednesday, the 20th of May. Paul will be back with the late bulletin at 10:30.
Yes, I will indeed. I hope you can join me for that. Until then, there's much more online. Just search UTV News and ITVX. You'll also find highlights of that royal visit and that promise of better weather over the bank holiday weekend. The ITV News continues now with Mary Nightingale.
From Paul and me and everyone on the team, good evening.
Good evening.